Lovely and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And the EPCR draws have been confirmed. The Stormers in the group of death. It is a ridiculous group that they have been drawn into. Similarly, I think the Lions are also a pretty tough group as well. Bulls are not in an easy group, but I think they'll probably take the draw. Very interesting draws, though, in both the Champions Cup and the Challenge Cup. And with a new format, 6 teams in a pool, 4 pools in the Champions Cup, 3 pools in the Challenge Cup, and certain teams will drop down from the Champions Cup into the Challenge Cup at the end of these draws. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun to see exactly who goes through and some of the matches that we're gonna have. So before we look at the two draws, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Start with the Champions Cup draw, shall we? Now let's look at it. And this is what we have got here. It is in Pool 1, we have got Saracens, Bordeaux, Bulls, Bristol Bears, Connacht, and Lyon. So the Bulls will not play Connacht, and so they will play those. So that they'll play their 4 matches will be Saracens, Bristol Bears, Bordeaux, and Lyon. Not bad matches at Saracens. Look, I think a lot of it will come down to home and away, because a lot of these teams don't send their best sides, which is why I think it was actually Bristol that the Bulls hammered at home. So it's not Bordeaux, decent side, Lyon, decent side, Saracens, we all know our top side. Interesting to sort of see how that game sort of goes. But I don't think the Bulls have gotten the worst group. Not an easy group. They're certainly probably the second toughest group, arguably, although I do think Pool 2 is pretty tough. Let's look at Pool 2, shall we? Toulouse, Cardiff, Bath, Racing, Harlequins, Ulster. I think it's like a fun group, It's quite a cool group to see. Racing play a nice brand of rugby. Toulouse obviously have just beaten La Rochelle, top 14 champions. Ulster are a good side. Harlequins are a good side. So, if I'm Cardiff, I'm crying, to be fair, because I think, you're then playing Bath, Harlequins, Racing, and Toulouse, and that's not fun. But I think Ulster make that group very, very interesting because, Ulster the top side. Pool 3, it is Munster, Bayonne, Glasgow Warriors, Exeter Chiefs, Toulon, Northampton Saints. Not a bad pool by any means, but I think as a Munster fan, you probably be alright with that group. Glasgow Warriors, I think it'll be interesting to see who sort of drops out and who doesn't really make it. But then the pool of death: La Rochelle, Stade Francais, Leicester Tigers, Stormers, Leinster, and Sale Sharks. If you look at it just left to right, La Rochelle back-to-back Champions Cup. Stade Francais are probably the weakest team in this group, and that's saying quite a lot considering that they're not. They're certainly not a side that you should be taking for granted. They finished 4th on the top 14 log. So yeah, it's definitely not an easy group whatsoever. And so when you think that the team that came 4th in the top 14 could potentially be your weaker side, it's interesting because you then got Leicester Tigers, who won the Premiership last season and still remain a very good side. The Stormers, who made the URC final, won the URC last year. Leinster, who made the Champions Cup final, back-to-back Champions Cup finals. We know that they're one of the top sides in Europe. And then Sale Sharks, who were in the Premiership final. So that is an absolute mental group to be in. And Stormers fans, let me know what you think down in the comments below. You can't be particularly happy with that. I wouldn't be happy with that if that was me. So that is how the Champions Cup looks. There'll be 4 matches, either home and away, but you won't play any cross-pool ones. So Stormers won't play Leinster, Glasgow won't play Munster, for example. Stade Francais won't play La Rochelle, Leicester won't play Sale Sharks, for example, and you can kind of work up the fixtures from there. Then we've got the Challenge Cup, and that is what the Challenge Cup draw looks like. In the first pool, Invitee 1, so 2 clubs which have not been named yet, will take part in the Challenge Cup. Invitee 1, Invitee 2, Invitee 2 down, and then Pool 3. So in Pool 1, you've got Invitee 1, Section Palu, Dragons, Zebra Palmer, Oyonnax Rugby, and Chelsea Sharks. If I'm the Sharks, I'm very happy with that draw. I'm very, very happy with that draw. Invitee 1 will either be a Tier 2 nation club or the Cheetahs. They'll have to play 4 games, so they'll probably play against either Dragons or Zebra, which I'll be very happy to do if I was them. Pool 2, Ospreys, USAP, Newcastle Falcons, Lions, Montpellier, Benetton. For the Lions, I'd have to play Benetton or Ospreys. I'm hoping it'll be the Ospreys. But then USAP, Newcastle Falcons, and Montpellier, not easy sides. So I think the Lions have got a lot to do in that Challenge Cup draw. A lot to do. Then Pool 3 is Edinburgh, Castres, Clermont, Invite 2, Gloucester Rugby, and Scarlets. Not a bad pool, to be honest. Actually, having said that, I think, Scarlets, I suppose it depends on what Scarlets does. Depends on what Invite 2 is. Edinburgh, it's not a bad pool. I think Pool 2 is the strongest pool. Maybe between pool 2 and 3, I'm kind of iffy. I'm just a Lions fan. I'm just upset at seeing the likes of Montpellier and the fact that either Ospreys had a really good Challenge Cup campaign or Benson could be either URC's team, whereas the Sharks got Dragons or Zebra. It's better probably than having an Edinburgh and Scarlets. Well, actually, I'm not even sure it is that. But yeah, those are the draws. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This will kick off in December. There will be 4 rounds before we move into round of 16s. As such, we will see 4. So in the Challenge Cup, 4 teams will go through. 2 teams will drop out. And that will be your 12. And then your other 4 teams will come from the Champions Cup. Where the top 4 teams will go through. 5th team will drop down to Challenge Cup. 6th team will not progress at all. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.